I can't see it because it's so freaking bright. Yeah, I can't tell.
The light would be flashing.
I can't see the light at all. Oh, wait a minute. There. It's dude, it's so easy. That is so obviously red. Oh, I wasn't looking at that. You're useless. Okay. This looks like snow, but it's not. I don't know if I believe them. So it's about 8 in the morning, and this is day 3. And it was really pretty cold last night. I don't actually know what the temperature is right now, but I would say it's at least probably down in the 40s. Very little wind last night at all, which was great. And then the wind kicked up pretty strong for about an hour and a half this morning as the sun rose. So there's pretty much no sleeping in the tent at that point because the rain fly was flapping and just the noise of the wind. But it's a beautiful day, as you can see. We have blue skies, a little bit of clouds over in the left as the sun's coming up. But it's looking like it's going to be a gorgeous, bright blue sky day. So Ian is still sleeping. Got the solar panels already hooked up. I left it out overnight. What's the Jackery at? 32%. We're getting 26 watts now, so not bad. Strangely, it was so quiet I could actually hear the refrigerator kicking on and off for a few minutes, but it didn't really consume too much power. I guess about 30. We went from 60% to 32. So we'll recharge it today. Should be able to get a full charge with the sun out this morning. And I will probably get breakfast going here pretty soon. It's a little cold still, but after breakfast we will likely go into Sauceda, get showers, refill our water, and I think that's about all we need to do. And then probably come back and do some hiking. And I think I want to check out Fresno Canyon later today. So that's the plan as of right now. This is Pila Montoya 2. It's quite a bit more open. The road to this section is actually pretty good, even though it's high clearance for sure, but I don't know about four-wheel drive, probably not. Unfortunately, this gets probably a lot more western exposure, so late afternoon it's probably not ideal, but it's more open. Probably get a few vehicles in here. There's a nice turnaround as well, so this would be a good option for larger groups. I think this is probably enough room for 2 or 3 tents and vehicles. This site is Pila Montoya 1. It is the first site on this particular trail, which is a dead end at Pila Montoya 3, which is where we're at. This is a large site. You can see there's pretty much a parking lot for a number of vehicles. It's really exposed to the elements, but it's got a double shade, obviously a bear box, plenty of sites for tents as well, and a fire pit. So but there's no vault toilet anywhere near here, so you'd have to have your own toilet system, and obviously no water. This would be really rough in the western sun once it gets warmer. Not a lot of shade. So on the way to Sauceda Ranger Station in the morning, we ended up passing an older woman walking along the road who was obviously in need of some assistance. So we stopped and chatted for a few moments. She let us know that they had a dead battery back at their campsite in their truck. So we went back to their site, which was at Papalote de Encino, which wasn't too far, and I have a portable jump starter in my truck. And so I was able to get their truck restarted, and hopefully they were able to enjoy the rest of their trip. That campsite I didn't really record too much because they were there, but it was actually a fairly open, flat campsite, and it has a water pump there as well. It's solar powered. The water is not potable, but the man at the campsite did let us know that they actually attracted a lot of animals in that area overnight. So that's one of the campsites, although there's not too much to it. That would make probably for a good base camp that's relatively close to the main road and not too far from the ranger station, and flat, so there's room for probably quite a few vehicles there as well. So I'd be interested in checking that out the next time we go out there. The next thing we're going to do is drive down to like the Fresno Canyon area and check that out. So that's the plan for the rest of the day. Tomorrow is the Christmas Mountains Trail, which is about 3 hours from here, so that's going to be a long day. So fingers crossed, hopefully that works out, but it's going to be quite cold tonight. This is down towards Fresno Canyon, and I don't know why these rocks are so yellow. It's just this very odd section of rock. Basically in this wash. The one thing we do notice is there's cow droppings all over the place in this area, so I'm guessing there's obviously a lot of food in this area for them. I'm not sure what they're eating, but and then obviously I'm in a wash, so this is water's probably in here whenever there's a flash flooding. This becomes probably a nice, pretty good sized river. Rincon 1. Really exposed to the wind. You probably can't even hear this right now. Just a shade shelter. There's a vault toilet around the corner, but it's not what I would call really easily walkable. That's towards Rincon 2, and there's actually somebody at Rincon 2, so we're not going to go over there and bother them. This is extremely remote. Getting here was probably an hour at least.
Hour and a half.
And it's absolutely four-wheel drive, and you need low, because getting back up at this out of the canyon is going to be a challenge. This looks like snow, but it's not. It's just that the rock is basically
Definitely not salty.
bleached white.
Hey, there's water here.
Is there?
It's a teeny tiny bit. Yeah. Like a puddle.
The drive out of Fresno Canyon took even longer than the drive in. The video doesn't do justice to how steep the trail is in some sections. I spent most of the time in 4 high, but there were a few spots where 4 low made a big difference. Also, in some parts there are a few turns which, due to the angle, you really can't see over the hood of the truck, so you might need to have someone spot or stop and scout that section. As you can see from the video, the trail can be really narrow with extremely steep drop-offs, so you have to be really careful, especially after there's been any kind of rain. We ended the day with going straight back to camp as we were both exhausted from exploring the Fresno Canyon, and we had an early morning the next day to drive to the Christmas Mountain Trail.